Hey Leo, we've got the Seven of Wands tonight as your significator. And this is third decan Leo, which is the part of the wheel that we're in right now. And third decan is ruled by Mars. That's why I have the Tower card out here, and then Mercury is also in your sign right now. So we've got the Hi Kitten. We've got the Magician card out here. That's the Mercury card. But the Seven of Wands here, this is my Be Still and Know That I Am God card. That is Psalm 46:10. And it actually coincided a lot with the imagery that I was getting during meditation. Because while I was meditating, I got an image, or I guess a scene of the Morrigan sending out crows, like casting them out to go forth. And as those crows were flying out, more like emerged from the trees, and you know, the birds go into their little formations and stuff. But once they did that, you can't tell which crows were the original crows and so on and so forth. So it's kind of giving me some hidden vibes. I don't quite know as to what yet. I'm hoping to find out more as we get into it. So let's get started. Let's get our first card out here to expand on the significator. So first card for the Seven of Wands. And I got a couple other images too. Interesting. 3. That is my limit for taking cards when they all come out at once. But that was right as I was going to talk about the other two scenes that I got while I was meditating. One was just a black dragon with orange eyes and really up close to its face. And I'm taking that as associated to the Magician card, you know, dragons, magic, so on and so forth. It was the third visual that really threw me for a loop. It was a woman sleeping under the water, like in a river, and no breathing apparatus, anything like that. It just seemed like she was in suspended animation and about to wake up. That's the vibe I was getting. So the 3 cards that we got out here are Four of Wands, the Hierophant in reverse, and the Three of Cups in reverse. Interesting. So Hierophant is larger institutions, and the keywords that it's got here, like personal beliefs, freedom, generosity, faith, or blind faith, misconception. And that could be any large system in your life, anything that has significant influence over you, really anything that could potentially indoctrinate you. A system of beliefs. It could be, this often represents a church, a religious institution, and even in reverse, I could even get like cult vibes from that. Hierophant's a bit bigger than a cult, but Three of Cups, that's where I'm getting that distorted group energy from. Because in the upright, like, this is celebration, good times. But reversed, this is also giving me like cliquey vibes. Like in high school. Like you're being excluded from something. That's almost, I'm almost able to make a connection to that imagery I got of the Morrigan and the crows. It's kind of like a, why are you being kept on the outside of this? Something to do with your happiness? Somebody doesn't want you to be happy? This could be old-fashioned bullying. Certainly hope that's not happening. And please seek support if that's something that you're experiencing. But Seven of Wands, be still and know that I am God. The verse goes on to say something like, I will be exalted amongst the heathens. I will be exalted amongst the earth. So this is really giving into that idea of surrender. And by be still, I don't mean just like lie down and take it. It's like trusting in the outcome, that you'll be able to persevere to this other side of the battlefield and maybe even find some help along the way. Because one of the Morrigan's aspects is inciting warriors to battle. That was the other thing that came to mind with those crows. But maybe someone will view what you've been through, what you're going through, being put through, and it will like rally them to action. And maybe that could lead to harmony in your life. I mean, if it removes, people who are treating you in an adverse way, then yeah. And that could take a multitude of forms. Maybe you're seeing a situation for what it is, and you're just not trying to fix it anymore. One of those, what is it? Rejection is redirection. Even though this doesn't feel like you're being rejected, it just feels like people are being jerks. It's just the vibe that I'm getting. And there's, a lot of fiery energy here with Leo and Mars and Mercury. That's communication. Let's get one of these. The Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Yep, going with that one. Oh, and this is my Morrigan card. And it kind of, putting it sideways, because the way it topsy-turvied. But these have always reminded me of Triskelion, the life, death, and rebirth symbol, the Irish symbol. And it's got the crow. But this is the sun in Cancer. So that season just passed on the wheel, Cancer season. So this could be recent past, what we're looking at. And if you are in some sort of like systemic bullying situation, whether that's school or relationship, a family system, anything like that, you may have had to be resourceful. Maybe you didn't get the help that you not only needed, but you thought you'd be able to depend on this group for, on this Three of Cups in reverse. As cups are emotions. So you can think of that as everything that was hidden in the cup is being poured out on the ground. The truth is being revealed of maybe their feelings towards you, which may not be all that savory from what I'm getting. And I'm also not getting why. Like one of the key words here on the Seven of Wands is secrets and myth. That feels like rumors. Is that an Adele song? Rumors? Somebody might have to help me with that. But the crow is looking at this spiral symbol. So looking to the cycle of the life, death, and rebirth that's represented in the Triskelion, that could be where the be still and know that I am God component is coming in, knowing that this situation is temporary. No matter what it is, things, the worst part of your life and the best part of your life, those all come to an end. So, might be able to take some solace in that, especially if you're in a difficult situation. But let's look at the Tower. Mars card here. And the keywords are sudden change, revelation, disaster, awakening, release, sudden insight. That one's really getting my attention. And this is just a learner deck that I have that has all the, like, the planetary associations and the keywords and so forth. I've got this deck both in English and Spanish. I thought I was being clever, and that, like, I'll learn the words on the Spanish one from the English one. It didn't occur to me until the Spanish one was in my hands that the authors are different, so the words are different. What can you do? So let's get the first card for the Tower here. Maybe there's a message in that. Thinking something was a one-to-one comparison when it wasn't. Huh. We shall see. First card. Nope, or first two cards. Eight of Cups sideways. So I'm going to read that as in motion. A situation you're trying to leave. Because in the upright, they're walking away. And it's cups, it's emotions, it's a tough situation, and they're kind of, they're not slumped over, but they don't look like they're standing up completely straight. And the Ten of Swords. Okay, yeah, rock bottom. Painful endings, betrayal, loss, collapse, defeat, crisis. Maybe that's how this feels. Maybe these were people that you thought you could trust, or a situation that you really had faith in. Or, since the Hierophant is here, a system of belief that you thought you could believe in. Especially if you're dealing with something like, if you want to expand on that, the cult idea, or even looking at it from a bigger perspective of organized religion, like seeing behind the curtain, seeing something that really shatters your faith in that. And it's just like you can't take any more. This person is down and out. But the only way from rock bottom is up. Might not feel that way. Especially in the moment of while things are actively happening. Yeah, and Temperance in the reverse. Might be getting really impatient with this situation, and I don't say that in a negative way. I mean, You just had it. Just enough. And maybe this situation is making you feel very unbalanced. Because this is Archangel Michael. And I really think of him as the protector. Because he made an appearance in is a scroll of the War of the Sons of the Light. And in Revelations as well. Really big roles in those like apocalyptic scenes. Let's get one of these. This feels like there's more. Because this, yeah, that was the woman under the water that she was just sleeping. The vibe I was getting from that, it's a lot like if you've seen Dragon Ball Z, when, you know, they have their big boss fights and whatnot, and then Goku or whomever ends up in the tank to heal. And I think it was way early on in the whole show, like the Frieza arc, or maybe the Cell, the androids. It had something to do with Goku, and they were all like on the edge of their seat waiting for him to get out of that tank. And he got out like right in the exact nick of time. So something about timing. That could be why the Eight of Cups came out sideways, because it's not quite time yet. And maybe that's what's causing this impatience. Like, it seems like there's all the ingredients for the tower to fall, but it just, like, won't come down. And maybe you've reached a point where you've been dealing with this long enough, or just like, I don't care, fall already. Which I totally understand, and unplanned change can also be stressful. It's like a rock and a hard place. But we've got the Sun in Leo, Fortune. That has left me more confused. Oh, I did mention briefly, like, maybe somebody doesn't want you to be happy. Maybe somebody doesn't want you to acquire fortune or something. I mean, get over yourself, right? If someone, especially in this economy, has the opportunity to come into something that could improve their life, back off. Like, quit being weird. And, you know, maybe if you weren't a jerk to this person, maybe they would help you, you know? And be mindful of, if you do come into fortune, of the open mouths, you know? I feel like something's missing, though. Another one of these. What am I missing? Actually, I want one of these. This is the Audacity deck. Felt like a good choice for Leo. What am I missing? The Two of D's. Acorns. We'll go with, huh, maybe you need to be more audacious. Oh, and there's three squirrels, the three of cups, and I just got a really big whiff of burning. Nothing's on fire. It's just a regular incense, but that was like, hmm, as if it had reached the wood part. And is making a very pointed gesture at his pelvis. And these squirrels look like they're in shock and awe. Is this just someone with a massive ego that has a problem with you? Like they can't stand to see you achieve good things for yourself because it makes them feel threatened. They haven't, whatever, amounted to whatever they set out to in their life, or I don't know, have some stuff buried in their psyche, that wounds that they're acting from, operating from, rather than working through. Yeah, because the ego is right here. Huh. We'll see what's going on with the magician and see if I can get more as we go. First card for the magician. So Mercury is also in your sign. 9 of Pentacles. Another group of 3. Nine of Pentacles. 3 of Wands in reverse. And the Moon in reverse. So releasing fear. Oh, maybe releasing fear that you won't achieve independence. Maybe that's what this group of 3 has been instilling in you. And this 3 of Wands in reverse, the key words on here: playing small, lack of planning, unexpected delays, obstacles to long-term goals, lack of foresight. If you are in a situation like bullying, so on and so forth, that's going to put you in survival mode. And you're not going to have clear thinking to achieve the 9 of Pentacles, that independence, self-sufficiency, rewards. Maybe that's what they're going for. That they can't outsmart you, outclass you. So the only solution they have, or at least they think, is to bully you. The real solution would be for them to work through their ish, right? Like, it's got those high school vibes, but I'm getting adult. Like, that is what I'm feeling here. This doesn't feel like a group of teenagers. This feels like a group of people that should know better. That there is an expectation that they know better. And there's so much an organized religion that gets used in a distorted way to like instill the fear of God into the flock so that they remain, in that sect, at that church, following that pastor or whatever it is. But it gets real power trippy when someone's using a religious institution for like personal power. Because there's like an extra layer to that ego. It's not just a megalomaniac. It's a megalomaniac that feels emboldened by the word of God. Really bad. That's like extra fuel on that fire. Yeah, I'm not understanding. Outside of an ego issue, I am not picking up on anything that would warrant this. The other thing that's coming to mind here is the Seven of Wands, preceded by the Six of Wands, the Victory card. You can see those six wands coming up from the foreground here. That's like holding your position. Holding your position of success, of victory. Or even knowing that you will be victorious, whatever that means in the situation. And just fighting like that. Like with that faith. Here we go. Oh, that's 3. So we have appreciation, moon in Leo. So we got the sun and now we have the moon. Okay. Fulfillment, Saturn in Sagittarius, and patience, Jupiter in Virgo. So really, this appreciation card is getting my attention. The balance between the Tower and the Magician. That's like being able to operate within chaos just seamlessly. Just with this panache, this flair that is of the expert, which is exactly what the Magician is, because they have the elements of all 4 suits and then the lemniscat above their head. Like, that's somebody who knows what they're doing. And then this group, this catty group or whatever, came along and just tried to mess with you for egotistical reasons because they thought they could, because it makes them feel better about themselves. I don't know. Fulfillment, yeah. And that's going to be a harsh lesson because that's Saturn. Sagittarius, the 9th house. What is the 9th house? Travel, philosophy, ethics, wisdom, and learning. So this could be metaphorical wealth, metaphorical fortune. Maybe they are threatened by your intelligence. That in like a head-to-head debate about some passage in a Bible or something like that, that they're not going to be able to hold a candle to you. And the only thing they have really to lean on is their authority, which does not make a good argument. Having authority doesn't mean you have a good argument. It means you have authority. Those are two different things. And patience is the other card, Jupiter in Virgo. And Virgo, that's the sixth house, to do with work, routines, perfectionism. And Jupiter is expansion. So the patience to know I think that better things are coming. Because if this is a work situation, and this could be one of those things that if you've ever like left a job or something and then they shutter the doors like 2 weeks later, like you just got out of there in the nick of time. Kind of like the Dragon Ball Z example, like the timing is exactly right. And the sun and the moon is also giving me that too. Like, we're coming up to eclipse season. So things are getting into alignment. Alignment for what? I want more. What's the next stage in this? Because I don't know. The outcome doesn't feel like the right question. Just the next stage. What's coming next? Is that the right question? Maybe. Two of Swords and Six of Pentacles in reverse. So a choice point. Difficult decisions, weighing options, deadlock, avoidance. And reversed, one-sided charity, power and domination, strings attached. Oh. This feels tricky. This feels like a trap. And not to elicit fear. This should not be new information. If anything, like in a tarot reading turns on a light bulb, that is just like your intuition being confirmed. It's not brand new, like revelatory information. But it's like you've got somebody in your life that you know is skeevy, and if you get some offer or something from them, it's just like you're gonna see it from a mile away, even though she's got the blindfold on here. But it's like they're not expecting you to be able to see through the blindfold. But this is also giving me Justice is blind. And Three of Pentacles. Maybe this is a work thing. Whether it's an environment you're currently working in or some sort of, maybe like you get those messages from somebody that you haven't heard from in a while, like, hey, how are you doing? Like, it's been so long, yada, yada, yada. By the way, I'm selling these smoothies for like $5 million a smoothie, you know. Do you want to sell them to other people too? No, I don't. I absolutely do not. And then you get into the, like, there's a really specific progression of how those like the MLMs, multi-level marketing and pyramid schemes and all that, like how they like rope you in to stuff and convince you that, or try to convince you that they aren't what they actually are. So you could read a lot of layers into this, because that'd be the same thing if you're dealing with some sort of like religious institution, if it's a cult or whatever, that, or like a charlatan, you know, some spiritualist that is just trying to use that world just to get money from people, from vulnerable people. Like keeping them on the hook with tarot readings and things like that. Like, oh, you'll definitely, you know, you'll meet the love of your life, or your ex is coming back in like 2 weeks, and then you go back to him to find out, like, why didn't that happen? And like it starts this cycle. And then they just keep preying on people. But I'm getting something like those are all the examples that are coming up of predatory. Huh. So I think that's the next stage to be aware of. And what's catching my attention is first deck in Libra, which is the next turn of the wheel is Virgo, so it'll be the one after that. But just something, they think they can get the wool over your eyes. And maybe that whoever that woman in the river represents, if that symbolism means anything to you, maybe that's someone that's going to come in just right at the last second to, I don't know, help you review a contract or something like that. And it's their area of expertise, like reviewing contracts. And then they go, hey, this isn't right. Oh, and we've got 2 Mercury cards. We've got Originality, Mercury in Aquarius, and Excitement, Mercury in Gemini. This is giving me the gift of the gab. Someone might try to hype you up about something. Maybe their approach or something is really novel. That could be a really big risk. Because if it's novel, it may not be tested, tried and tested. They might also not know what they're doing. If this is somebody who, say, wants to take advantage of your fortune or something like that. Like, oh, if you invest in me, you know, in this invention that I have, like, we'll make all this money, and then we'll try to, like, get you all jazzed up, get you really excited, get your guard down to get you to sign something really quickly or on the spot. Don't do that. I mean, it's your life, but my recommendation is to not do that. I think a good litmus test for people is to see how they respond to the word no. Of, nope, I'm going to sleep on this, or I'm going to think about it. Like, how do they take that rejection? Does their demeanor change in a significant way? Does their body language change? Is it that, like, passive aggressive, like, guilt trippy, like, oh, okay, I thought that you would really like this, but I guess not. Maybe my presentation wasn't that good. Like, dude, I just need to think about it. Like, it's a contract. It's legally binding. Calm down. And I don't know, it just, if someone is doing that, again, your life, that might be almost an immediate no for me. Because confident people can accept rejection, or even just staving off a decision, like, unbothered, this is business. They're that emotionally involved in it and can't separate. I guess it's up to you if that is what you want in your life. We'll get one of these for just a final. Okay. The devil. And in this, she's looking at her reflection. So I'm getting a couple things from this. The first thing that came to mind was gaslighting. Was like, things will be presented in such a way that, like, it makes you question yourself. Like, if we roll with the, like, somebody's trying to get you to invest in their business, and, like, somebody in your personal life, or that maybe was in your personal life and isn't anymore for whatever reason. Maybe you just lost touch or something like that. Nothing, no animosity, just it's like, maybe they know how you were, like how you used to be, and are trying to take digs to, or bring up painful things to weaken your resolve. Or they know which empathy buttons to hit. I can also see this as the other person knowing what they're doing is wrong and doing it anyway. We all make choices, and you can choose to do things the honorable way or the dishonorable way. And if someone is insecure, they've got ego issues, and so forth, they might just take the easy way out rather than actually trying to do the work and just trying to pull one over on you, and then pointing the finger, like how they're doing in this picture, and going, well, did you read the fine print? It's not my job to, like, read that for you, and then they make out like a thief in the night. This just has not great energy to me all around. I get one more audacious card here. Is there anything we need to do about the devil? Because this just feels incomplete, and maybe, because I've said that before over here, maybe you're just going to have a gnawing feeling about this person or this interaction or whatever it is that they're asking you to do. Like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I don't know. So do we need to do anything? the life of the party. Maybe you need to blow off some steam to shake that icky feeling. Because if someone is bullying you or so forth, then maybe you just need, a night out with friends or something like that. Or even just a night out by yourself to just recalibrate, to expend some energy. And there's a lot of skulls and whatnot in this coffin there at the bottom. It really seems like letting go of inhibition of skeletons in the closet. Because if this is someone from your past that they've got maybe damaging information on you or something like that, maybe they're gonna do something really, really unethical and like throw that in your face. Like, you wouldn't want anybody to find out about this, would you? Tell him. Go ahead. Tell him. Like, everybody's got a past, and if anybody is gonna judge me for that, I don't care. Like, why would I waste my energy on people who are going to listen to rumors? I only have so much time in the day, and that's a really excellent way for me to be able to filter people out of like, oh, you listen to that without ever talking to me? See ya. Hopefully never. It's just like kind of throwing caution to the wind of so what? And I don't want to diminish anything that you've been through, but really the antidote for bullying is indifference. Because, if they're going to go around and spread these things around about you, that's going to catch up to them. It might eventually get back to you, it may not. But people are going to see, like, dude, why can't you keep this person's name out of your mouth? Like, what's up? You said you didn't care about what they were doing, and you will not shut up about them. Ooh. I'm taking both of these, because both of these are really good choices. So, any alien movie, and I think there's a new show, actually. I can't remember on what. And WandaVision. And how many alien movies are we up to? Like 8? 10? 42? That's a good way to really check out and get into some escapism. And I personally recommend, turn off all the lights and all that. And me living with PTSD, I do have to kind of lean on the herbally infused gummy bears to help keep my skin on. Which makes for some interesting reactions to stuff. Because when, like, the pressure release happens, they'll come out as, like, a giggle fit. Which is why I tend to watch horror at home. But WandaVision, that's one of those shows that came out, like, right when I needed it. Because that was, I think, less than a year after I got diagnosed with PTSD. Those were pretty close together. And seeing how deeply she was affected, how deeply Wanda was affected by all the things that she had been through and how she then really alchemized those things into becoming the Scarlet Witch. And not of her own choice. She just realized her nature. That was good timing. I really needed that. And it was so interesting because I'd never seen anything quite like it. But overall, I hope this helps. I hope this resonates. And if it doesn't, I hope the next one does. Thank you so much.